Now, hundreds of people across the world are experiencing the impact of climate change that continue to be seen in rising temperatures, fluctuating weather patterns and even floods. In Baringo County, the rising water levels in Lake Baringo due to climate change and factors like increased rainfall between 2010 and 2020, siltation caused by human activities as well as geological and tectonic shifts, among other factors, is exacerbating an already existing problem of teen pregnancies in the county. Our Health and Science reporter Gloria Milimo was in Baringo and filed the following report on the nexus between climate change and teen pregnancies.
As she soothes her 5-month-old baby, this 14-year-old girl from Baringo South, whom we shall call Anne, can't help but think of what lies ahead for her and her son. At only 14, she had unwittingly burdened herself with responsibilities that come with parenting. Anne, just like hundreds of other children who were displaced by floods from their original homes in Ngambo area in Marigat sub-county, were forced to move in with hosts after their homes were submerged. This transition, however, exposed some of them to vices that forced them to see life through the lens of an adult.
We used to live in a place called Ngambo before we moved to Lamalok. When the floods came, we had to leave. My mother left me at my uncle's place, and that's where I got pregnant.
She was put in the family way by an 18-year-old boy, she says, would sneak in her room every night while staying at her uncle's place, where she had sought refuge 2 years ago when Lake Baringo broke its banks, washing away her home and her parents' livelihood.
I didn't even know that I was pregnant. All I can remember was that I became seriously sick and my mother had to take me to the hospital, and that's when they discovered that I was pregnant. I was later taken home and given herbal medicine.
The pregnancy saw her kicked out as there was not enough to feed them, and the extra mouth she was expecting, according to her uncle, Anne had to move back with her mother, who was trying to rebuild herself at the time before taking back full responsibility of her 11 children who were spread across different relatives' homes after the floods.
There's a difference between how one would raise their own child and when someone else does it on your behalf. I was shocked that she was pregnant. I was really hurt when I discovered that she was pregnant. I knew it was time to take back my children, so I asked for help and got this piece of land where we currently live. That period almost saw me sink into depression. I felt helpless because she was not living with me at the time.
Sarah, also not her real name, says had the displacement due to the floods not occurred, maybe her daughter would be equipping herself with peculiarities of life uninterrupted like her peers. Although she is back in school, she has to do the delicate balance between school and being a mother.
When I used to live with my children, I took good care of them and I kept them busy even on weekends where they could join me in the farm. I ensured they went to school daily, so I blamed the floods for her predicament. She wouldn't have been pregnant.
But Anne is not alone in this unfamiliar territory for any first-time mother. Her counterpart, whom we shall call Sheila to protect her identity, got pregnant while staying at an internally displaced persons camp that hosts victims of floods from Ngambo area.
We left Ngambo in 2018 for this place. I got pregnant while in class 8 in 2021. I wanted to go back to school, but I couldn't, because there was no one to look after my baby. Considering that the person I live with cannot do it, and if he does, we will die of starvation.
Unlike Anne, who lives with the mother, Sheila, who is 16 years old, has also taken up the role of a wife to the man who got her pregnant. Poverty also pushed her to her resort.
After
I got pregnant, I just decided to get married because I couldn't get money to proceed to high school after sitting my KCPE exam. However, I am still optimistic that one day I'll go back to school. But for now, even my single mother cannot afford school fees.
Like many girls in the camp, life has not been easy. Accessing basic commodities like food, body oil, among others, left her at the mercy of the father of her 9-month-old son, who met her needs. The man would give her 500 shillings, but you see, this amount is hard to come by in such an environment.
He was 19 years while we were dating. He provided anything I wanted. And when I got pregnant, I had to move in with him and his parents, who were to help me continue with my education. But that did not happen, as his parents were also not able to cater for my learning.
In this camp, there are more like Sheila who are bearing the brunt of the wrath of Mother Nature. The rising waters did not just take away their homes, but pushed them into traps that lay bare, waiting for their next victim. They say climate change does not affect people equally. It takes the greatest toll on those already at heightened risk, like these girls from the Ilchamus community who are displaced by floods. Community health volunteer Rongai Liakwara gathers the teen moms for a talk under this tree in effort to ensure they do not fall into traps that will expose them to teenage pregnancy again at such a tender age.
Let us try not to fall into this trap again. I know the challenges you faced here left you vulnerable. Considering the new environment, just take care of your babies, and when you go back to school, work extra hard and not think of having another baby, because you can only be something in this country when you are educated. There are ways you can prevent other pregnancies through family planning.
According to the Health Services Coordinator of Baringo South Sub-County, the county recorded a significant increase in teen pregnancies after the floods.
Teenage pregnancies is, you can't say we didn't have, because we are living in a community, our culture is diverse, and social interactions here and there, but the dimension or the magnitude was low. But with this flooding and all that, then we saw this upsurge. In fact, last 2 years, or in fact, at the beginning of the flooding, we had quite a number of teenage pregnancies.
This increase, according to the county, was witnessed in specific areas, majorly those that were affected by floods.
We've experienced some increase, especially in Mochongoi Ward, Ilchamus Ward, and Mukutani Ward.
Statistics by the county indicates that between the month of October and December 2021, the county recorded 245 teen pregnancies. In 2022, between January and March, the number rose to 265. The county further recorded a higher number between April and June, where 384 girls got pregnant. Between July and September, there were 155 recorded cases.
See, Marigat was not affected so much with the floods, although the numbers, the people ran away from the other place coming to some Marigat ward. But you see, we are blaming on the floods at some point, because I said one, because of poverty. Someone came from, for example, Keserian, and now you are living in maybe Sirino, a place called Sirino. In that place, you don't have anything to, for example, food. The child is not going to school. So what will happen? This girl will, of course, look for an alternative. And maybe we can say, yes, it has exposed so many girls to poverty.
In Marigat Sub-County, cumulatively, girls between the age of 10 and 14 years accounted for 51 pregnancies in 2019. The number rose to 301 in 2022. Those between 15 and 19 years accounted for 871 pregnancies in 2019 and 2,878 in 2022. Teenagers between 15 and 19 years accounted for the highest number of teen pregnancies in the sub-county.
These girls might be forced to look for alternatives, mainly from border guys, because when you get so many girls coming for antenatal clinics, you ask for the partner or who fathered the child. Someone will say, a guy within. And is he schooling? No, he's a border guy. So mainly, I can say their bread or whatever they want, or their provision, they are getting from these border guys.
To help tame the explosion of teen-on-teen pregnancies in the county government has embarked on certain measures, as explained by the Health Services Coordinator Richard Tuyetoek.
We've put a lot of interventions that we've seen. Some have worked, some are still work in progress. Like the first intervention that was done is we did medical outreaches. We took some services to the camps. That was one of the county interventions that we employed. 2, we also supplied sanitary towels to schools.
Lake Baringo, which is a freshwater lake, has been rising steadily since 2010, claiming more land and leaving tens of thousands of people homeless. The water is said to have risen by 15 meters. In its wake, livelihoods and homes remain underwater, forcing the residents who live next to the lake to move further away to pave way for the land-hungry lake. While at it, the county's teenage girls are paying the ultimate price. It is clear that the escalating climate emergency is undoing gains made in taming teen pregnancies in the county, despite existing measures like fines against those who impregnate minors to help curtail these numbers. The county may now have to rethink its strategies in tackling teen pregnancies that are now also being fueled by the impact of climate change being witnessed globally. Gloria Milimu, KTN News.